Hi folks, welcome to your MWIS Winter Planner. This updated on Friday the 24th of February. It's a generally settled outlook as we head towards the start of March, with high pressure due to dominate. That's centred towards the north of us, and that will allow for more of an easterly wind flow that will prevail. Those winds strongest over England and Wales during the week ahead will make things feel distinctly chilly, and temperatures overall will be on the cool side compared to some recent times. On the mountains, hovering around freezing point. In the valleys and the glens, we will see some regular overnight frosts. The pressure pattern for the week ahead then looks like this. The pinker colours indicating the higher than average pressure, and that's suggesting we have the general block of high pressure very much in charge throughout this full week ahead. The airflow pattern then circulating around that from the east or the northeast. I'll show you how the sequence goes on the synoptic charts because there isn't going to be a huge amount of change from day to day. This is through Saturday, the high centred towards the north, the gusty east by northeasterly wind to be felt over England and Wales will drag some areas of cloud in from the east and the northeast, shrouding areas around the Cairngorms quite frequently through the day. One or two local showers, snow or hail flurries, but for most it's a dry and fairly bright day with rather cloudy skies starting to fill in. Best of brightness out towards the west. There'll be a similar theme ongoing for the days ahead. For Sunday, the high is maybe a little bit broader across Scotland and northern England. The wind strongest then for Pennine areas and across Wales. A little bit less windy further towards the north, and not much wind at all for a good part of the Highlands. Overall, then, a sunnier day for much of Scotland. Monday looks very similar as well, with high pressure centred towards the north. Once more, some banks of cloud just rolling in on that easterly wind to Pennine areas, and that may just spread out across the sky through the daytime. But many of the mountains should be free of those cloud banks. Scotland again, largely sunny, and maybe a similar story overall as we head toward the middle of the week. High pressure toward the north, east or northeasterly winds prevailing, and quite gusty in places around the Pennines and across Wales, but mostly light across Scotland, especially towards northern regions. Some banks of cloud, some fragments here and there, but most mountains should be in the clear, and it stays dry overall. In terms of the freezing level, it's a bit of an awkward one to describe in the days ahead. As we go through Saturday, it's broadly near or below freezing point, above around 600 to 800 metres, although some slopes facing toward the south and southwest with some sunshine may just see temperatures lift above freezing point, even to quite higher elevations. There'll be some frost in sheltered valleys and glens to start the day, and that'll be similar as we head onwards to Sunday morning as well. The freezing level will then tend to rise as we go through the daytime, with some spots in northwest Scotland generally a few degrees above freezing point to the higher mountains, but for many places you're going to be hovering close to freezing point above 800 metres. But again, some south-facing slopes will warm up by a couple of degrees in strengthening late February sunshine. As we go onwards for a few days, you'll see how we get some overnight refreezing as we see some frost to lower elevations by day. We will see that freezing level quite a bit higher, but again, we will hover near freezing point at around 800 to 1,000 metres, and a few spots, again, will be above freezing point towards higher slopes. So it's a cool feel. It's not desperately cold, but mountain terrain that is currently frozen will go through just various cycles of some slight thawing and then refreezing overnight. So in general, any snow patches that exist, not too much will change overall through the week ahead. What we can say is that there's very little, if any, fresh snow to fall during the week ahead. This model chart is the forecast snow depth on the ground and indicates that there is some lying snow over the higher tops in Scotland. And this model, bearing in mind, doesn't have the fine enough resolution to see every single mountain, and there is some considerable lying snow. It exists on higher terrain across the Ben Nevis range, the Cairngorm Plateau, for example. Do just check your local conditions then before heading out. It is still considerably wintry up on those higher Scottish tops. For England and Wales, a few pockets here and there, but most summits are clear. As we look further ahead, that's the suggested pressure pattern as we go through the week from the 6th to the 13th of March, and we still see high pressure towards the north and northwest of us, lower pressure around Scandinavia, and maybe just some hint of lower pressure around Britain as well, which could just produce some areas of light rain or snow flurries at times. Just depends on the pressure pattern exactly where any little areas of low pressure develop. but a lot of uncertainty in just how the forecast evolves a week or 10 days down the line. But overall, it's still this sort of cooler north by northeasterly type of airflow that is likely to be around, and unlikely to see anything coming in from the Atlantic as a west or southwesterly. It's a weak signal, but even further ahead, that similar sort of pattern is likely, with high pressure toward the north and lower pressure toward the south. So an east by northeasterly flow is still likely to prevail. So the overall message is one of relatively dry conditions, fairly cool conditions as well, prevailing over the next few weeks. You can find all your local information, of course, on our website. For today, that is your winter planner. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.